Hey my people, how you doing? I hope you're having a damn good day. Welcome back to the channel. It's going to be the final episode of Season 2 of the Leicester City Career Mode. It could be a banger, depending on how things go, of course. We could end up in the Champions League final. We could win the Champions League final in this episode. And if we do, it might be the last episode. Although we didn't win the Premier League, so we might be back for Season 3, depending on how things go, of course. We also have the FA Cup final in this one confirmed. It is up against Liverpool. But first, we have a very big game up against Inter Milan. Semi-finals of the Champions League, of course, the holy grail of club football. And 11 minutes in, Raheem Morris, of course, sun is signing. People doubted me for bringing him in. But if he's scoring big goals like this, he could lead us to the motherland of winning the Champions League. Something Leicester City have never done, and I don't even think in their wildest dreams they would have thought they would be in a Champions League final. But 35 minutes gone by, Kylian Mbappé, he's looking to shatter our absolute dream of getting to the Champions League final with an absolute outstanding goal of his own. He did double the lead. I don't know why I didn't put that highlight in, but he did double the lead shortly before that absolute banger from distance. I didn't say Wesley Fofana, but Fofana from distance, absolutely banging it in, loving it. And then, of course, club legend Jamie Vardy, calm as you like, calm as a cucumber, striking it home past the goalkeeper Fofana. I keep saying Fofana. Onana left to wonder how the hell he didn't end up saving that. But first leg done, 3-2 winners, happy as can be. Of course, we are winding down in our season in the Premier League, and we have a very big game here against Arsenal. Although, to be honest, I think top 4 is done. We're not going to make top 4, which is a bit of a letdown. And now it's just strive and hope for the Europa League spots, because I don't want to be in the Conference League. I really don't. So we do need to pull some shit out of our asses here, because right now Gabriel Jesus with an absolute blinding strike of his own and making it 1-1 on the day. But we were quite good. We were quite compact. I liked how our boys played. I mean, our subs made a big impact late on in this game. Okay, Gundogan coming up big for us, and you'll see why, but we were just firing shots off left, right and centre, getting players in the box. I mean, you can see Ilkay Gundogan as a deep midfielder. He was in the box waiting to strike, and with a minute to go in the game, he glides that ball past. I don't know who the Arsenal goalkeeper is. It's definitely not Ramsdale or Matt Turner, but glides it past, and we ended up winning 2-1 on the day. Very happy with that. Mikel Arteta's get wrecked. And then, of course, our scouting for the season was somewhat done, so I decided to send our scouts to new locations, England and France being 2 of those locations. Of course, I was looking for a new scout, bring in a bit more talent, because our talent pool in our youth system was looking really good, so I was very happy with that. Of course, we've got the likes of Jack Simmons, who is looking like an absolute killer. And I'm looking very forward to next season being with him, because next season he will be getting a lot more game time. I am probably going to look to ship 1 or 2 of our players out and bring in more players from the youth academy and bring in younger players, of course. But Jack Simmons next season is going to be... watch the space. That's what I'm going to say. Watch the space, because he's going to be good next season. But second leg of the Champions League semi-finals against Inter Milan. Of course, it is at the San Siro, so we have our backs to the wall in this one. We've got the home crowd against us. We've got our fans like in a little corner somewhere in the stadium. Of course, it's a huge stadium, a lot bigger than the King Power Stadium. And Kylian Mbappé, the thorn in our side in the first leg, now a thorn in our side late on in this game, tying it up at 3-3 apiece. And late on in this game, Dortch from distance fires it straight over the bar. Oh my goodness. This game would go to extra time. It is extra time, yes. I need to say added time, but no, it's extra time. And of course, again, Fofana from distance bangs it in. 109 minutes gone. He could be sending us to our first ever Champions League final. Leicester City, the Foxes, could be facing either Borussia Dortmund or Juventus in the Champions League final. Both of those teams are worthy opponents, of course. I would love to face either one of them in the final, because they would be worthy adversaries for us going forward. And I don't think Juve have won the Champions League for a long time. I don't think Dortmund have ever won the Champions League. So, of course, they got to the Champions League final in 2014, Juventus in 2015, both losing. So, either way, I'm very happy with that. And we end up beating Inter Milan in this one, drawing 1-1 on the game, but going through on aggregates. Hallelujah. What a wondrous strike from Fofana. He has absolutely repaid the transfer fee the huge sum of money that we flushed out for him. So very happy happy with that. But it's back to the grind, back to the Premier League. As you can see, we're currently in 8th place with, 4 games to go? Yeah, it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. We simmed a game against Southampton, beating him 3-2 on the day. Very happy with that. Vardy, Maddison on the score sheet. Stephens for Southampton got on the score sheet. We had a 60% possession rate, which is quite good, quite healthy. Went on to Burnley, ended up drawing with them 1-1, which is not great. Of course, I think Vincent Kompany's boys, they did a good job. They did a very good job. I mean, 46% possession against us isn't the easiest thing in the world, so, it is what it is. But we move on, though, to the FA Cup final against Liverpool, a game that I have spoken about for a little while now. So, of course, we didn't win the Carabao Cup, we lost in the final. We're not going to win the Premier League. Realistically, this is our only chance at a trophy this season. Of course, Liverpool have gone very strong. Nunez, Salah, Jota, Cody Gakpo. Damn you, Liverpool. Anyways, point being, we've gone very strong as well. We were firing shots left, right, and centre. But a player who showed up, sorry, I've gone dark for a second. A player who showed up so well for us for Liverpool, sorry, not for us, was that man right there, Alisson Becker of damn Liverpool. He was saving shots left, right, and centre. And somehow, some way, Alvin Lafont was really good as well. He managed to just get his body in the way of the Salah shots, the Nunez shots, and so on. And we had to make quite a few changes. And it turned out to be a James Maddison assist to a former Jurgen Klopp player, an Ilkay Gundogan, former Borussia Dortmund player, former Man City player, who looks to have won it for us late on in this game. 10 minutes or so to go in this one, and we are 1-0 up, 1-0 to the good. Leicester City are going to take this trophy home. Late on in this game, though, Maddison with a chance to absolutely seal it from basically the penalty spot. I mean, of course, it wasn't a set piece, it wasn't a pen, but he ended up just stroking it wide. But it was enough for us to win this game. Our first trophy in the season, back-to-back FA Cup trophies. Leicester City have never done that, people. Never done that. I mean, got to the final of the Carabao Cup, lost, unfortunately, and ended up beating them. I mean, I can stomach a loss to Man United in the Carabao Cup final. Not stomach a loss to Liverpool in the FA Cup final. I mean, firstly, FA Cup's a bigger trophy. Secondly, it's Liverpool. I have to beat them. And James Maddison, as the official captain, he's not a stand-in captain, he's not a vice captain, he's the official captain, is going to lift his first trophy for us in the FA Cup. Let's go. Hallelujah. Praise that good trophy, people. Alvin Lafont winning his first trophy. A lot of these players winning their first trophy with the club. And hopefully it's not the last trophy this season. Because I think it's a time for celebrations. It's the latter stages of the season, final few games of the season, of course. So we need to, just do our thing a bit more. But very happy that we ended up beating Liverpool. Quite happy with that. In fact, I mean, the reporter's going to ask me a dumb question. Of course, I honestly cannot stand some of the questions that get asked. That's why I try and show the best questions that do get asked. This one actually being about winning the FA Cup for a change, which was quite nice. But we've got to focus now because, of course, we're still striving for that top 6 position. We have a very big game here against Manchester United, of course, at Old Trafford, the steamy bright lights of the Theatre of Dreams. And then we have a very big game against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest, of course, Midlands rivals, definitely Midlands rivals. They will be looking to try and end our hopes of Europa League football. So, yeah, 72 minutes gone by, though, making 5 big changes. Gundogan, the headline of those changes. Harvey Barnes coming with, of course, with Fofana. I can't afford for players to get injured. So we are definitely going to be rotating players for these last 2 games of the season. And it just makes so much more sense. I mean, I would definitely prioritize the Champions League because, one, I know we're not going to make the Champions League the traditional way of getting into the top 4. But if we beat Juventus or Borussia Dortmund, whoever made it to the final, we will make the Champions League. Plus, we'll win the Champions League. So definitely, we will have to win these games. Yes, of course, we did end up drawing with Manchester United at the Theatre of Dreams. The Theatre of Nightmares, some might say. But at the same time, these games are nowhere near as important or at the quality of the Champions League final. So we've got to focus. Of course, I did rotate our team quite a lot for this final Premier League game of the season. And 36 minutes gone by, we find ourselves down 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. I think it was Morgan Gibbs-White with the goal there. And Jamie Vardy, this might be his final or his second to last game. He will be in the final. He will showcase in the final. Don't know if he's going to be starting or not. But this will be his final, looking like his final Premier League game for Leicester City. I mean, he is a club legend. He will go down in history as probably the best ever striker. He's scoring plenty of goals. I think he's what, over 200 Premier League goals? Could be 300. I mean, goals for Leicester, not Premier League goals. Jesus Christ. Point being though, Jamie Vardy with a brace in this one, final game of the season. We end up not losing to Nottingham Forest, but not winning either, which was not great nonetheless. So, Champions League spots gone. Europa League spot could be gone, but we might be in the Conference League for next season if we do not win this damn Champions League final. That could be against Juventus or Borussia Dortmund. So, there we have it. We did end up sliding into 6th place by a single point. A single point kept us in the Europa League standings. City winning the league, Spurs coming 2nd by way off, to be honest, and United finishing 3rd, and 4th, Liverpool, West Ham 5th, with us 6th. So not the worst, but not the best. And now it is time for the ultimate game of this career mode. This is it. This is the one. We need to win this, and it is going to be up against Juventus. Juventus have got some big time players. Of course, they've got Paul Pogba. You saw there Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Vlahovic, Chiesa. All these players are elite players. And of course, Juventus beating Borussia Dortmund on penalties. I don't know if you actually may have seen that in the semi-finals, but anyway, point being, we've gone with what I feel is our strongest squad. Luke Thomas being the youngest in it. But he's the best left back at the club at the moment. Maddison, Mahrez and Barnes, they're going to be crucial for us. Fofana and Kone are going to be magnificent in this game. Pereira and Thomas, they need to be on it, of course. Yeah, in the build-up to this game, I was kind of nervous because there was a lot running through my mind. Is this going to be the final episode? Is this going to be the final game? And as you can see there, Juventus' team is quite strong. No Pogba though. He's on the bench. Rabiot, McKennie and Arthur starts in midfield. And 5 minutes in, they would find a way to just bypass our entire defense, and Chiesa smacks it home. And a bit of nerves in the Leicester City boys at the moment, just telling him calm down. We've got a whole 90-minute game to go. And we threw a few boys forward, but for some reason the defense, I have no idea where Sionsu was on this moment, because he's struggling to get back, and he just left a gaping hole in our defense, and it allowed them to be 2-0 up inside the first 60 minutes of this game. You can definitely see the nerves have gotten to the boys in this one, and it wasn't looking good, bruv. It was not looking good, because 3-0 up inside 23 minutes, it was looking like an absolute fucking car wreck. So I apologize for swearing, but it really was, and it had to be, and yeah, it wasn't great, it wasn't great. We were doing all the things that I thought we would do, but just Juventus were a different team, honestly a different team. We managed to get a goal back here through Raheem Mahrez, making it 3-1 before half-time. There is some hope, but a nice flick onto Weston McKennie would make it 4-1 at the break. And oh my, how the mighty have fallen. We might have a very embarrassing loss on our hands here, Champions League final. So I decided at the break, making changes left, right and centre. Of course, as you can see, that we've made Ilkay Gundogan a cam going forward. I think that's the best role for him. But Luke Thomas coming off, getting subbed for half-time of the Champions League final. And to be honest, in the second half, we did do a better job defending. That goal would be offside, so it wouldn't count, but it wasn't enough, because throwing men forward, we couldn't score any goals. Juventus were just too damn good defensively, and they would end up winning the Champions League final. And obviously, the Champions League for the season. Well, that sucked. So, yeah. Don't worry. This won't be the last episode of the Leicester City Career Mode. We will be back, and next season will be a better season nonetheless. You mark my words, we will do better this upcoming season. Season 3 is going to be an absolute banger and a half. Stay tuned for that, because it's going to be great. So some of the stats for the end of the season: this man's leaving, he's going to retire soon, but Vardy ends up as our best goal scorer with 28 goals. Not good enough, to be honest. We need more output from our other players, such as the likes of Gundogan and Mahrez and so on. So we need more, especially from our captain. I mean, James Maddison last season versus this season is night and day type things. So yeah. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button down below and have a great day. I'm out.